real solutions to money, relationships, wellness, and more. Shine a light onto your day and into your life. Power Your Life with Dr. Joanne White.
Welcome to Power Your Life. I'm Joanne White, your host. With the face of our healthcare system ever changing, what's important for you to know so you can receive the best medical care? Here to break it all down is Betty Long, the president of Guardian Nurses Healthcare Advocates. Welcome, Betty.
Thanks, Joanne, for having me.
Oh, it's great to have you here. So let's discuss what was the gap that you saw in the healthcare system that you felt that you needed to fill?
Wow. Well, the gap is really about communication, I think, and it's about talking with patients and making sure that they know what their game plan is. So when I was a nurse in the hospital, I was often brought in on cases where families didn't know what was going on, patients didn't know what was going on, and I thought, you know, there's got to be a way. What are we missing here? Why is it so broken down? So I found the Guardian Nurses.
So what is the role of a patient advocate?
Well, I think the way I look at a role of patient advocate as a nurse is to minimize the hurdles that patients often have, to champion perhaps better treatment, get them what they need, expedite appointments, and be the glue that they don't really even know that they need. Because oftentimes patients don't know what to expect in the healthcare system. So as a nurse, we can step in and really be the guide.
So how have you helped to change patients' lives through your advocacy programs?
Well, let me tell you about a story just this week. It was a young 25-year-old who was admitted to a small community hospital with lesions, new lesions on her brain and her spine. And then when they did a CAT scan, they found a larger lesion on her spine at level of T1, thoracic level T1. Right. And the community hospital started her on a treatment plan thinking she had MS and wanting to do a biopsy of the larger lesion. And we didn't think that was a great idea at that small community hospital, so we suggested to the mom and dad and to the patient, because she was 25, right, that we expedite a transfer to an academic medical center that specializes in neurosurgery.
So in terms of advocacy, you're also helping the patients kind of figure out whether or not they need the treatment there or
Absolutely.
If this is the best treatment.
Absolutely.
So
and it's not that we're making decisions for them.
Right, you're helping.
We're suggesting to the parents and to the patient, hey, you know what, there might be a better place to have this done. Just thinking. And then what we're trying to do is empower them to make the decision and to feel like, you know what, I didn't feel so good about being here. So maybe that's why. And I always tell patients, and I know that, is to follow your gut. If there's something that you think is not right, it's probably not right.
So being empowered is so very important, and oftentimes patients forget that they have that opportunity, and not only an opportunity, it's a necessity.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're in the hospital, right? You got a doctor telling you have something, and you're passive, you're accepting this information. You don't feel so empowered.
Well, when you feel sick, right, you're leaving everything up to somebody else to make decisions, so you need somebody. Right. Sometimes people can advocate for themselves, but oftentimes they may need someone like you, and your nurses are very, very skilled when they go in. They've had years of experience.
Correct. Yeah, so, they know what questions to ask.
So what kind of, that's good. So let's educate our folks here. What kind of questions do they need to ask when they go into a medical appointment, to the healthcare provider?
Well, I think the first one, if it's a new diagnosis,
right,
is, okay, what do you think this is? What are we talking about here? What could it be, okay? And if they then start to answer and respond, okay, what does that mean? Like, I always say, there was a movie once with Denzel Washington in Philadelphia where he said, you know, talk to me like I'm a 6-year-old. Or maybe it was 6th grade.
So break it down a little bit, like legalese, medicalese, so that we can understand what it is that's going on with us, right?
Right. And I often hear physicians talk with patients and they forget to break it down. They'll use the, you know, well, we think you have blah, 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 and it's like, I don't think he knows what that means.
But then the patient leaves and somebody asks, well, what's happened? And they don't understand. They couldn't actually repeat what went on.
And oftentimes, my other experience is that when you're receiving information that's scary, that you don't, and you know this, I mean,
Right.
you don't process it. We had a patient once where the doctor said you have cancer. And when we came out, I said, what did you hear? And she said, I'm going to die in 6 months. And I was like, oh, no, that's not what he said. No.
So you were
Yes.
actually in the appointment. So that's really a very powerful
Yeah, well,
service.
in that case, it
right?
was too.
Well, also because there was miscommunication or misinterpretation.
Yeah,
Right.
she just heard, I have cancer, I'm going to die.
Right. So what do you want people to leave the office with in a minute or less here?
Okay, no pressure. What I'd like patients to know is that they need to leave the physician visit with a game plan. They need to know what's the game plan. And I use that as a sports analogy. Okay, so I'm going to do this study, and then I'll take this med, and then I'll do this, so that they break it down, as you said, into little bite-sized
Right.
pieces. But don't leave the office just saying, okay, and not knowing what the next step is.
I think too that if you're not comfortable, it's okay to get a second opinion.
Absolutely. Yes,
And
absolutely.
oftentimes people don't think so.
Yeah, no, in 30% of the cases where you get a second opinion, things change. So I
So
absolutely
then
agree.
who do you believe?
Who do you believe? Well, then get a third opinion.
Okay, so whatever until you feel
Break the
comfortable.
tie.
Until you feel comfortable.
Absolutely. No, I think it means your health care, right? I mean, that's the
Right.
whole premise of what you preach.
Yes. Betty, thank you so very,
You're-
very much.
You're welcome. Thank
My
you for
pleasure,
having me.
My pleasure. When we come back, we're talking about diet and exercise with celebrity trainer Gino Caccavale. Welcome back to Power Your Life. My next guest has trained some of Hollywood's sexiest bodies. Celebrity fitness expert Gino Caccavale is here to share his diet and fitness secrets and his latest workout video, Resist. Nice to have you.
Nice to be here. Thank you very much.
So here's Resist, and I'm going to try it out. And tell me what's in here.
Resist is just a basic, like for years people have been trying to do cardiovascular workouts on TV. They would do weight workouts, but no one's really like combined them. Nowadays, like we only need like 30 minutes. We only have like 30 minutes to work out. So other workouts would have like separate discs and separate plans for their cardio, for their yoga, for their workout. So we just combined high intensity cardio, resistance training, put it together, 30 minutes every other day.
So 30 minutes every other day, and
Every
you
other
can
day.
have the body of your dreams.
Body of your dreams. You're gonna build muscle, you're gonna burn fat, you're gonna burn calories, you're gonna look great, yeah.
Pretty and fantastic. I'm going to try it out, like I
Yeah,
said. I'll
let me know how you did.
I will. I'll let you know. So you say that workouts shouldn't be fun. They
Fitness
don't
isn't
necessarily
fun.
have fitness doesn't right,
Right.
and food doesn't or eating doesn't necessarily have to taste delicious, or food doesn't.
Exactly.
Okay, so
Yeah.
my stomach is saying, wait a minute, what's going on? So what do you mean by that, Gino?
I mean, when I say fitness isn't fun, it's more about expectations. Because the media, we look at fitness and being, most of my clients would come to me, give me a workout that's like fun. And I say, well, then I shouldn't be your trainer because your workout with me isn't going to be fun. If your
It's
expectation is to
hard
have
work.
fun, you're probably not going to get the results you want. So I say, work hard. Fitness isn't fun, but being fit is fun.
So the results of the
The
workout.
results are fun.
Right.
You work on your body hard, and then you enjoy your body at the beach or playing volleyball or playing with your nieces and nephews. That's what I
Say,
do.
look what
Yeah.
Gino did for me,
Yeah,
right?
it's more enjoyable afterwards than it is during.
And workouts
Yeah.
are hard.
Yeah, and you have to go into it with the mindset that it's going to be hard. If you go into the mindset like it's not going to be hard, I want to have fun, you're just not going to get the
Well,
results.
I know a lot of people, including myself, I have to get myself psyched up
Mm-hmm.
to go to the gym or to work out. I have weights at home or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get into that mental mindset to get prepared and ready to do that?
The mental mindset should start at the beginning of your day, not really at the beginning of your workout or the beginning of your meal. You should wake up in the morning and say, this is how I'm going to live today. I'm going to be happy, I'm going to work out hard, I'm going to eat healthy, and by the end of the day, I'm going to feel good.
I like that.
Don't piecemeal it. Don't say, you'll dread your workout. Oh my God, the workout's going to be so hard. Yeah.
So you have this no recipe meal plan. What is that
No
about?
recipe meal plan. No recipe meal plan is that I think that people, nowadays we're so geared to like every time I sit down and eat, I want it to be delicious. What am I going to have for the morning? Is it going to be like bacon, egg, and cheese? I love the taste of bacon. And they're expecting that taste to be so delicious and that gourmet meal. I say sacrifice Just like you have to sacrifice at your body, just like you have to sacrifice at your job, sacrifice for a meal. Eat a little bland once in a while. Maybe you'll know there's be a meal down the road that's going to taste good, like a steak and some wine or something like that.
So at least be able to have something that you look forward to in terms of savoring, having a good meal. Because
Exactly.
what's in your stomach is we have a little bit of a nervous system in our whole digestive
Yes.
tract that says,
Yeah.
endorphin sends off endorphins or whatever. So we want to
Yeah.
make sure that that's kicking in at least sometimes.
100% right. You have to satiate yourself, but you don't have to overindulge and satiate yourself. It doesn't have to be conquer every taste bud and be like a gourmet meal every time.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So you say that with 5 specific exercises or techniques that we can actually change our body. Can you demonstrate one?
Yeah. The keys to it all is multi-joint movements.
Okay.
Because like the more joints you move, the more muscles you engage, the more calories you burn. So what you're trying to do, do you want me to do it?
Right here.
Right
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
Like if you're just doing like a squat or a curl.
Let's see if I can do this.
Okay.
All right, let's
All right, so we're doing a curl.
stay right
I'll
here,
stay
then.
here. If we're doing a curl.
Right.
That's only moving really one joint.
Right.
So we want to know how to move more joints. So we'll go down to the floor. We'll squat and we'll curl. So we'll
Okay.
squat and we'll curl. We want to move more
All right,
joints.
let's do a little more.
We'll squat and we'll curl, and then we could press over our head.
Okay.
So now we're moving more joints, more. Now we're working legs, arms, and shoulders all at the same
So
time.
we're getting a lot of, thank you. So
Yes.
we're getting a lot of muscle movement in and
Exactly.
And also, see, you say it's not fun, but we're adding some variety to it.
Yeah.
So it's, for me, it's more stimulating.
Yeah. It's always changing. There's always variety. You should always change up your workout. Like my workout's great. It's great to put in your toolbox. But like when we say fitness isn't fun, we're still saying go out and enjoy yourself. If you want to be a swimmer, you want to do your yoga, you want to do whatever makes you feel good, do it. But when it comes down to changing your body, that's when you have to work really hard.
Okay, so you say we all want to look better and feel younger and also look younger. So you say that you can change the way you look for 50 and make yourself look 15 years different, younger or whatever. How do we do that?
It's all about consistency. It's all about it's doing like the same thing every day, and it becomes habitual. The more it becomes habitual, the more you won't realize that you're even doing it. The more you won't realize that you're doing it, the more you look back in 5 to 10 years and it's like, oh my God, I've just been eating healthy, I've been working out, and I feel great.
So I like that idea that it becomes a habit.
Right.
And it's easier that's a habit.
Without
You
a
wake
doubt.
up, you eat the right foods, you work out, and it's part of your life. And what I like to do is I actually like to schedule it in as part of an activity on a daily basis.
I'm the same way. Be scheduled, be structured. If you eat 4 to 5 meals a day, even in your plan,
Small meals.
small
Let's not
meals.
get crazy.
Right. I'm not a snacker. I don't believe in snacks. I think
Right.
that's overblown. There shouldn't be meal, snack, meal, snack. It should be meal, 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 5 meals a day. And they should all be moderate, and then it all should contain some protein. And if you choose to say, I want to indulge one meal, one lunch, one breakfast, one dinner,
Oh, during a week.
a week,
Right.
you're still eating 32 clean meals and you're eating 3 cheat meals. So percentage-wise, you're still eating basically very clean. But just get that in your head that that's your plan.
So you have to make sure that you're eating comfortably
Exactly.
and wisely. Thank
Yeah.
you so much,
You're
Gino.
welcome. Yeah.
My pleasure. We'll be right back with advice for women looking to climb the corporate ladder with the CEO from the Glass Hammer, Nicky Gilmore. Our next guest landed on Forbes.com's top 100 websites for women. Her blog, The Glass Hammer, was created for women looking to build their career. Joining us now via Skype is founder and CEO of The Glass Hammer, Nicky Gilmore. Welcome, Nicky.
Welcome. Thank you so much for having me, Joanne.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So, women make about 77 cents on the dollar that men make, and so there is a discrepancy and a disparity. What is your company doing to help change that?
Well, you know, our company has a mantra: inform, inspire, and empower professional women in their careers. And so really we're trying to give women advice to go forward, to navigate in their careers, and really to understand how to negotiate for themselves and build a strategic network so that they can, you know, keep going and get to that corner office.
So how is it changing, or is it changing, that women in 2020 or 2030 that are going to have more leadership roles and maybe move the gap really lessen the gap so that there isn't that disparity that I was talking about earlier?
Well, first of all, that pay gap actually isn't across all industries. It's an average. So, when we kind of drill down into professional services and financial services where we do most of our work, it's really about helping women understand how to lead as a woman, as opposed to the old-fashioned Jack Welch in a skirt mode that we kind of saw in the 80s, like Working Girl. It's a great movie, right?
Right.
And so we're really helping people be their authentic selves so that they can succeed as they are, as opposed to trying to simulate something that they don't necessarily feel very comfortable with as a style.
So what do we need to do? What do women need to do? And also, what do men need to do to change that disparity?
Right. Well, everybody's different, first of all. So I think I can't speak for all women everywhere, right?
Right.
So I do think and we have to be a little bit careful that we don't make it about men versus women. Because that's a race to the bottom,
Well, I think it's about cooperation with this. I think it's about being cooperative.
Absolutely.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
And I think that the modern lens on this stuff is very much about helping people champion each other.
Right.
And so it's all about women understanding how to find mentors and how to find sponsors. The difference is that a mentor will tell you, hey, do it this way, put on that nice outfit. But a sponsor will really help you, a sponsor will advocate for you in the meeting that you're not in, cash in their chips on your behalf, and they're usually more senior than you are. So really it's about helping women understand that without the power of getting a good sponsor in the firm and having a strong network, you can only advance so far if someone doesn't have your back, man or woman.
So they need a sponsor, and they need a mentor within a corporation or an organization or their company. That I'm sort of getting what you're saying, right?
Right. Their mentor can be from anywhere, actually, but their sponsor, it's probably better if it's within the firm you're working, because you might be not able to have access to a senior meeting, and that person's in the meeting, and they can say, hey, did you think of Susie for that project? And advocate for you in a way that you can't advocate for yourself necessarily.
So they have the advocate there kind of having their back, so to speak, so that they're representing or presenting what you can't do if you're not in that, like you said, that meeting. And I like the idea, Nicki, that you were talking about cooperation, because oftentimes people see, even in the same industry, that there's competition. But I think working together, especially now, working together actually strengthens everybody in terms of where they want to be and moving forward in their lives and in their careers.
That's right. We recently did some research for women in tech last year, actually. And, the leadership trait that they valued was collaboration above everything. And that's something that we find generationally millennial men and women are finding stylistically is more suitable for them. Whereas in the old days, it was very much an aggressive control and command. As I say, Jack Welch in a skirt, I like to call it. I should trademark that. And I think these days everybody wants to collaborate a bit more.
So it's not just that women, because a lot of people are under the impression that it's just women that are more into collaboration, but you're talking men and women.
Generationally, the new generation tend to want to collaborate on teams also, which is good news for everybody, I think.
Yes, I think it is. How do we build the leaders of tomorrow?
Now that is a very big question, isn't it?
Yes, give us a little snippet there of an answer.
I will. I'll give you a slice. Let's see.
Good.
A New York slice.
All right.
So I really think that it's about building workplaces for tomorrow. We've seen a lot about women leaning in. We've seen a lot from Sheryl Sandberg on that, and I think it is very useful advice. But my advice goes one further, and that's companies need to lean in and build systems and structures and processes that allow everybody to, not just survive, but actually thrive. We're not all the same. All women are not the same. We're not all white. We're not all straight. We're not all American. Check out this accent for starters. So it really is about understanding that there are multiple realities going on for people at work. And if you want your employees to become leaders and to feel engaged, clear the track so that they have room to run and be themselves and bring their best self to work.
So you're talking about building systems within the company, within the organization, and also outside of the organization to bring that in. And I think that's very essential for leaders, and not just leaders, but also for anybody within the job.
Absolutely. You know, you have to give people room to lead. And very often there's such a narrow model of what a leader can look like, even still today. And so it's really about creating enough room and enough dialogue for people to come with different ideas and not be afraid of speaking out and, you know, showing some innovative behavior and getting in there and doing some good collaborations. Because at the end of the day, we do want to see a future where we're all in it together, right?
Yes, we're all in it together. Thank you so much, Nikki. It's been a pleasure. Power Your Life will return in a moment. Ahead, find out what's coming up next week. At the top of the show, we discussed healthcare and patient advocacy. As healthcare consumers, we have to be more engaged in our own healthcare and more often than not be our own advocate to really get the treatment that we need. So here's what's important. It's important to get educated about any healthcare concerns that you may have. It's also important to be prepared with your questions before your medical appointment. And also communicate to your doctor or your healthcare provider, not when you're about to leave the appointment, but while you're in the office. Communicate any concerns and desires that you may have. It's important that you take an active role and assert yourself, because this is all about you and about your health. That's it for tonight's Power Your Life. On next week's show, Real Housewives of New Jersey star Jacqueline Larita joins us to talk about her son's struggle with autism and her hope to inspire others with her story. See you then. Remember that you have the power to power your dreams and power your life.